Vice Chairman of the Committee on Finance, Chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Una sa lahat, sa ngalan ng administrasyon ni Pangulo Duterte, gusto kong iparating ang taos-pusong pasasalamat kasama ng aking mga kasamahan sa Senado sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan na nagkaisang sumunod sa mga pahayag ng ating Pangulo hingil sa enhanced community quarantine at nanatili sa kanilang mga bahay upang hindi na lalong kumalat pa sa ating bansa ang coronavirus. Nagpapasalamat din po kami sa lahat ng ating mga health worker at frontliners na walang tigil na naglilingkod sa bayan, mapaaraw man o gabi. Ang panukalang batas na ito ay para sa ikabubuti ng ating bansa. Para mabigyan ng gobyerno ng sapat na otoridad na maglaan ng pondo ng bayan para tugunan ang mga pagsubok na dala ng COVID-19. Saan kukunin ang pondo? Yan ang magandang balita ko sa inyong lahat. May pera po tayo, huwag po kayong mangamba. Naging responsable ang ating gobyerno sa pamamahala ng ating pera. Kung ihahambing ko ang kalagayan ng ating gobyerno sa isang pamilya, sa isang may bahay, ganito po yun. Ang pamilya natin ay naging responsable nitong nakaraang mga taon. Mayroong sapat na ipon at nagplano ng maigi para sa ating mga gastusin. Kung kailangan mang umutang sa tindahan, walang problema. Tayo po ay pahihiramin dahil nakakabayad naman tayo ng maayos. Kaya wag ho kayong mabahala. Ang kailangan na lang ay ipasa ang batas na ito para bigyan ng administrasyon ng otoridad, lipunin ang pera sa iba't ibang departamento at ibigay sa mga taong nangangailangan at sa mga programang nararapat. And this is where I go into the details of what needs to be done. We must be able to secure the welfare of the 24.6 million Filipino families, particularly the 18 million families who are poor or from the informal sector. Our immediate goal is to provide each of these 18 million with 5,000 to 8,000 pesos a month for the next 2 months. This will provide for their food and other daily needs and will increase the chances that they will stay home and keep themselves safe and other Filipinos safe. Our enhanced community quarantine in Luzon is designed precisely and if done properly to slow the spread of the transmissions, to save lives, and allow us to expand our health system to test and treat our people. This enhanced community quarantine is coupled with numerous measures which need to be carried out at all levels of government by the private sector and civil society. These are urgent and extraordinary actions because this virus spreads fast. We need to slow it down and eventually halt it for good. However, these necessary actions do not come without economic cost. The island group of Luzon accounts for 72% of our gross domestic product or GDP. Without additional intervention, our positive GDP growth rates may reverse to negative 0.6%. If we are able to beat this virus in 3 months and redouble our efforts to recover our growth trajectory in the that our economic managers estimated before the enhanced community quarantine was put in place. It is crucial, however, for the government to keep fighting COVID-19 and to keep investing in our infrastructure program and our people so that economic sectors are jump-started and jobs are created as quickly as possible once the outbreak is behind us. Hindi tayo nag-iisa. Economies around the world are taking a hit and government will spend beyond their means to protect their people from this menace. Where we differ from many is in our strong macroeconomic fundamentals and effective debt management. A large part of this strength comes from the comprehensive tax reform program, which we passed and has allowed us to raise revenues in advance as assurance against these kind of risks. At dahil nagkaisa tayo para ipasa ang Comprehensive Tax Reform Package, nakalikom tayo ng dagdag na pondo para matugunan sa mga di inaasahang banta sa ating bayan, gaya ng pandemic na kinakaharap natin ngayon. Secretary of Finance Sonny Dominguez recently shared that we are now in talks with the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank for concessional financing of up to $2 billion or around 100 billion pesos. We have also received a grant of $3 million from ADB and a loan of $100 million from the World Bank to fight COVID-19. We will work with other sources to finance the balance. The confidence that the financial sector places in our country signifies that they are confident in our ability to re-energize the economy and pay back what we borrow. It was a very different fiscal picture back in 1997 during the Asian financial crisis, when it was much harder to borrow from the World Bank and the IMF. The national government was in a difficult fiscal position, which led to a fiscal crisis in 2003. In 2009, during the global financial crisis, we tried to gather idle cash from various national government agencies to mobilize a decisive response, but we were prevented by various laws. The lessons must be learned. We cannot address new challenges with tools designed for old ones. This health emergency is a black swan, and our current budget does not account for a challenge of this magnitude, one that is having this much impact in our way of life. We must have the ability to ensure that all 24.6 million families in the Philippines do not fall below the standard needed to survive. The government has done its best within its present means to support low-income families, and we clearly need to do more now. Congress has the power to make that happen. Nakasalalay sa ating pagpapasya ang gagawing pagtugon ng pamahalaan para maproteksyonan at matulungan ang ating mga mamamayan. Some 6.6 million families, or about 1 in 4, belong to the formal economy and can avail of their savings and other benefits from their places of work to survive. We ask the private sector to take care of their employees and their contractual staff during this difficult time. And many have responded generously. Hindi ko na sila iisa-isahin. Pero batid natin at ng ating mga mamamayan ang positibong pagtugon ng mga pribadong kumpanya, malaki man, katamtaman o maliit, para ayudahan ang kanilang mga manggagawa, gayon din ang iba pang mga nahihirapang sektor. The remaining 18 million families work in the informal economy or are poor or near poor. If they do not work, they have no income. No work, no pay. Isang kahig, isang tuka, ika nga. These are excruciatingly difficult times, especially for them, and we must do what we can to help. Hindi natin pababayaan ang ating mga kababayan. The bill that I sponsor today proposes to raise enough money to support families for 2 months so that each of these 18 million households get between 5,000 to 8,000 pesos per month from various national government and local government programs, whether in cash or kind. The exact amount is determined in proportion to the minimum wage of the respective region. There's a chart that shows the details. Among these 18 million families, 4.4 million households are current beneficiaries of the 4Ps or Conditioner Cash Transfer or CCT program. They receive on average around 2,150 pesos per month. So we will just top up their subsidies to reach the proposed 5,000 to 8,000 pesos, depending on their region, so that they can avail of basic food, medicine, and toiletries. Ang dagdag na mga subsidyang ito para sa 4.4 million pamilya sa ilalim ng CCT ay magkakahalaga ng 15.5 bilyong piso bawat buwan. The balance of 13.5 million non-CCT households will get 5,000 to 8,000 pesos in total also from various national and local government programs so they can avail of basic food, medicines, and toiletries. Ang ayuda naman sa 13.5 million mahihirap na pamilyang ito na wala sa CCT ay aabot sa 82 billion kada buwan. The total emergency subsidy program will require a total of 97.4 billion pesos per month, or roughly a little bit less than 200 billion pesos for 2 months for all households working in the informal sector, plus 5.1 billion of administrative costs. Tulad nga ng ating nabanggit, ang ayudang ito ay maibabahagi sa pamilyang Pilipino sa pamamagitan ng national and local government social programs, both in cash and kind, lalo na para sa mga pangunahing pangangailangan tulad ng pagkain. The cost is clearly significant, but we have the cash available. What we do not have is the flexibility to use the available cash to beat this virus. This bill that I sponsor today will precisely do that. In consultation with economic managers, we will keep the 2020 spending program of 4.1 trillion pesos intact and give the President the power as needed to move funds within the General Appropriations Act, or GAA, from non-essential to essential items that are required for fighting COVID-19. Moreover, our accounting of the financial situation shows that we have some 175 billion pesos of available cash and its equivalent in various GOCC accounts. We also have some 100 billion pesos in various national government agencies' accounts outside the Treasury single accounts. The total amount available off budget is about 275 billion pesos. This can be made available quickly to finance the emergency subsidy program. This scheme will allow us to deliver emergency subsidy to the people without affecting our national government's fiscal position. These actions can protect our people and ensure their survival. Looking ahead, the economic team has assured us that they are crafting an economic stimulus plan. The additional public resources that we have identified will, for now, go directly to Filipino families. To get this done, we in the Senate and our counterparts in the House of Representatives must immediately enact special law to allow the President to move and reallocate funds to where they are most urgently needed and create new budget items for new programs so that we can deliver emergency aid to our people without delay. The proposed bill, among others, will accomplish the following. First, it will authorize the President to reprogram, reallocate, and realign any appropriation in the 2020 GAA as may be necessary and beneficial to fund measures that will respond to the COVID-19 emergency, including social amelioration for affected communities and the recovery and rehabilitation therefrom. And second, allocate cash funds and investments held by any government-owned or controlled corporations, GOCCs, or any national government agency as necessary to address the COVID-19 crisis. Under the proposal, any unobligated amount, whether released or unreleased in the budget, shall be considered to have their purpose abandoned or fulfilled as of the date of the declaration of the state of emergency. The balance of these funds as of the effectivity of this act will be appropriated as needed to address and respond to COVID-19 emergency, including the recovery and rehabilitation therefrom. Upon passage, the authority granted under this bill shall be effected for 3 months unless extended by Congress. Bawat linggo, magsusumite ng report ang Pangulo sa Kongreso. Ito'y bahagi ng pagsisiguro sa transparency at pagkilala sa check and balances. Finally, the President shall be authorized to undertake such other measures as may be reasonable and necessary to enable the government to carry out the mandates of this proposal. The proposal also carries other measures to ensure that the President can act swiftly to address the needs of our people in times of crisis. The proposal empowers the President to continue to adopt and implement measures to prevent or minimize further transmission and spread of COVID-19 and to continue testing and observation of persons under monitoring and persons under investigation. We need to sustain these efforts. In these extraordinary circumstances where adherence to the national strategy is crucial to contain COVID-19, the proposal also authorizes the President to ensure that local governments adhere to the declared national policy and strategy while allowing them to continue exercising their autonomy in matters undefined by the national government. The President shall also be authorized, when the public interest so requires, to temporarily direct the operations of certain facilities necessary to address the needs of the public during the COVID-19 emergency. Ang panukalang ito ay hindi bago o kakaibang konsepto. Atin itong inihain alinsunod sa Article 12, Section 17 ng ating kasulukuyang Constitution. The President shall have the power to continue to protect the people from hoarding, profiteering, injurious speculation, manipulation of prices, product deceptions, as well as cartels and monopolies. This will ensure that our people are not taken advantage of by unscrupulous individuals under strenuous market conditions. Nakalulungkot at nakakagalit isipin na sa gitna ng pagsasakripisyo ng lahat ay may mga kababayan pa rin tayo na nakukuhang magsamantala sa kanilang kapwa Pilipino. As time is of the essence in combating this disease, the President may also procure essential goods and services such as medical supplies, rent venues for quarantine centers, and other services needed by the public healthcare system during this health emergency as an exception to the procurement law. Other powers include extending credit to productive sectors of the economy, liberalizing the grants of incentives for the manufacture and importation of necessary goods and equipment, requiring businesses to prioritize and accept contracts for goods and services necessary to deal with the health emergency, regulating the operation of public and private transportation, regulating traffic on all roads, authorizing alternative work arrangements for employees in the executive branch and, if necessary, in the private sector, and regulating the use of our energy supply. The best way to defeat this disease is to be ahead of it, and these powers will allow the President and our public health authorities to act as swiftly as they need to. Fellow Senators of the Republic, these are extraordinary, trying times. This virus does not differentiate on party, creed, or wealth. It's an impersonal, invisible enemy. Without fear or favor, it infects. And without intervention, it moves very quickly. But I am confident that if we sustain and enhance the measures that we have taken, and if all of us do our part, we will be able to defeat this virus together. Health workers are manning the front lines in this battle. Some have sadly lost their lives. As we said in the past, never has so much been owed by so many to so few. We thank them for their selfless and courageous services. To our factory workers, truck drivers, and storekeepers, and our peacekeepers, we send our deepest gratitude. To those who keep essential services running, the farmers, the fishermen, maraming salamat po. To the many heroes we see and are able to thank, and to the many other warriors who toil without rest or recognition, our collective efforts will not succeed without your invaluable work. Sa mayorya ng ating mga kababayan, lalo na yung mga nasa informal sector, sa mga tricycle driver, jeepney driver na nawalan ng pasada, sa mga vendors na nawalan ng mga suki, mga manggagawa, sa mga namamasukan sa arawan, batid namin ang lahat ng inyong sakripisyo at lubos kaming nagpapasalamat sa inyong pag-unawa at pakikisa sa ating pamahalaan. Let us in the Senate do our duty to aid them in this time of great need. And may this country come out of this hour of challenge stronger, more compassionate, and more united. We have the funds necessary to address COVID-19. What we do not have much of is time. By passing this bill, we give the administration the authority to access these funds and move quickly to save more lives. Panawagan ko ang suporta ng bawat isang miyembro ng kapulungang ito. Let us pass this bill with urgency. Bayanihan to heal as one. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, Senator Bongo wishes to deliver his co-sponsorship speech.
Senator Christopher Bongo is recognized.
Mr. President, I wish to manifest my intent to co-sponsor this measure and express a few points in this time of crisis. Our country is confronted with an invisible enemy that is endangering not only our economy and our society, but the very lives of the Filipino people. That enemy is COVID-19. Now, more than ever, we, as the elected officials, must do everything we can to be of service to the Filipino people. The executive and legislative branches of the government must work together to strengthen our efforts in responding to the COVID-19 situation. We, as legislators, must provide the executive branch the authority and the resources to further enhance our government's capabilities to better address this threat. And that is what we have before us today. As Chair of the Senate Committee on Health and Demography, I wish to express my support for the urgent passage of the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. Isa po ako sa nagsuggest na gamitin ang salitang bayanihan para po magkaisa na tayo. Palihog lang. This bill aims to empower and give the government the flexibility it needs to address the present health emergency. Further, it seeks to grant authority to the President to do what may be deemed necessary in accordance with the law to fund measures to address and respond to the threats of COVID-19 and the economic impact that comes with it. This measure also allows for needed realignments in the budget of concerned agencies so they can prioritize the provision of immediate healthcare needs as well as food and cash assistance to affected Filipinos, particularly those belonging to vulnerable sectors. Katulad ng sinabi ko noon, hindi pwede ipagpaliban ang tulong na dapat natatanggap ng mga nangangailangan, lalo na sa panahon ng krisis. Tuloy dapat ang serbisyo natin sa bawat Pilipino. As a legislator, allow me also to emphasize to my former colleagues in the executive branch, we are passing this measure out of trust, and we hope that your conscience will guide you in implementing this measure. Nagtitiwala kami sa inyong kakayahan at katapatan. In line with granting these resources and the authority and flexibility needed to utilize them as deemed necessary, we want the executive to make sure that this is done in the most transparent manner and that every centavo should be accounted for. Sa panahong ito, hindi man natin mababantayan ang bawat kilos ninyo. Tanging ang konsensya nyo na lamang ang tututok sa inyo at makapagsabi na gawin ninyo ang tama ang inyong tungkulin. Nakabantay parati ang inyong konsensya. Sa ating mga government officials, higit 3 taon ko po kayo nakatrabaho. Alam ko po ang inyong kapasidad at dedikasyon sa serbisyo. May tiwala ako sa inyo na gawin ninyo ang lahat ng inyong makakaya para malampasan natin ang pagsubok na ito bilang isang nagkakaisang bansa. Tulad sa Department of Agriculture, gawin natin ang lahat para maisigurong walang magugutom na Pilipino habang nilalabanan natin itong virus na ito. Make sure we have sufficient supply of food. Aanhin natin ang pondo kung kulang naman ang supply. Sa Department of Trade and Industry, please ensure the unhampered movement of basic goods and necessities. Bantayan ninyo ang supply, ang presyo, at itigil ninyo ang lahat ng nagsasamantala sa panahong ito. Para naman sa Department of Social Welfare and Development, at iba pang ahensya na nakatutok sa mga ordinaryong Pilipino, siguraduhin natin na makakarating ang tulong sa mga mahihirap at sa mga taong pinaka-nangangailangan. Siguraduhin natin na nararamdaman ang tulong ng gobyerno ng mga taong pinaka-apektado sa krisis na ito, ang mga taong walang maasahang iba, mga walang trabaho, at yung mga walang savings. Tutukan natin ang mga vulnerable groups tulad ng senior citizens, persons with disabilities, at indigenous peoples. Alalayan rin natin ang mga informal economy workers, mga vendors, public utility vehicle drivers tulad ng mga namamasadang taxi drivers, tricycle, bus, jeep at iba pa. Pati na rin po ang mga tricycad, pedicab, habal-habal at mga nagtatrabaho sa Transportation Network Vehicle Services o TNVS katulad ng Grab, Angkas, Joyride, lalong-lalo na po ang mga kababayan natin na isang kahig, isang tuka, mga daily wage earners na kinakailangang tumigil sa pagtatrabaho para maging ligtas mula sa pagkalat ng sakit na ito. Responsibilidad natin na alagaan ang ating mga kababayan natin na pinilit nating hindi lumabas ng kanilang mga bahay. Nag-impose tayo ng strict measures para maprotektahan ang kalusugan nila, pero hindi dapat doon nagtatapos ang responsibilidad natin sa pag-aalaga sa kanila. We want everyone to stay home, but for that to happen, we have to make sure that we are able to sufficiently provide them with the necessary means to take care of their families and ensure the security they need in order to remain in their homes. Tulad nga na sinabi ng ating Senate President, cash is food, food is security, security is peace and order. Ito ang prioridad na dapat maibigay kapag iniimplementa ang batas na ito. Provide immediate health care needs to solve the health problem and defeat the virus, and at the same time to provide cash and food assistance to those who are affected the most in this crisis. As to the public, the authority to be given to the President must be for a limited period only, subject to restrictions, and solely to be exercised within what is deemed necessary to put an end to this crisis and to support those who are affected by it. The Constitution and all other laws that protect the rights of the people will remain in full force and effect. Mr. President, gamitin po natin ang pondong meron tayo para mabigyan ng proteksyon at alaga ang ating mga health workers, doctors, nurses, at iba pang frontliners tulad ng pulis at military. Gamitin natin ang pondo para sa PPEs, hazard pay, at pagkain para sa kanila. Our frontliners chose to work and serve their country. This is the least we could do to help them. Maraming salamat po sa inyong serbisyo. We commend all our frontliners, health workers, doctors, and nurses who have sacrificed their lives to save their fellow Filipinos. Kayo ang mga bayani sa gera na ito. To the police and military, I commend you for your patience and hard work and for always being ready to protect and serve our people. We are facing trying times, so please exercise maximum tolerance. And of course, sa mga LGUs, governors, vice governors, mayors, vice mayors, barangay officials na nag-aasikaso sa kanilang mga constituents. Would also like to take this opportunity to address our overseas Filipino workers. The Philippines is your home, and you will always be welcome and taken care of here. Ang stand po ng ating Pangulo ay tanggapin niya ang mga Pilipino na gustong umuwi, dahil kung pati sa sariling bansa nila ayaw silang tanggapin, saan pa sila pupunta? Maglalaan po tayo ng pondo para mailigtas kayo kung asan man kayong parte ng mundo. Kung nais ninyong umuwi, sisiguraduhin rin natin na may pasilidad dito sa bansa na komportable na pwede kayong tumuloy pag uwi ninyo habang naka-quarantine o habang hindi kayo makauwi sa inyong probinsya dahil sa lockdown, para ito sa inyong kaligtasan at kaligtasan ng ibang mga Pilipino dito sa ating bansa. To my fellow servants in the government, particularly those in local government units and those leading our barangays, this is the time to set aside politics. Let us be accountable to and united for our people. Unahin natin ang buhay at kapakanan ng bawat Pilipino. To reiterate the points that I have raised here today, number one, siguraduhin natin na magamit ang pera ng bayan ng tama. Number 2, siguraduhin natin na makarating ang tulong sa pinakanangangailangan at pinakamahihirap nating mga kababayan. Number 3, siguraduhin natin na walang pinipiling oras ang ating pagtulong at pagserbisyo sa bayan. I appeal to my fellow Filipinos, magtiwala po kayo sa inyong gobyerno. Sumunod po tayo sa mga patakaran ng Interagency Task Force. Wala po kaming ibang hangarin kung hindi ang kapakanan ninyo at kalusugan ng bawat Pilipino. To quote President Duterte, we are now in the fight of our lives. Kung hindi tayo magkaisa at hindi natin tulungan ang ating gobyerno, siguradong matatalo tayo ng COVID-19. Nakita naman natin sa ibang bansa na mas mayaman at mas moderno kaysa sa Pilipinas, pati sila tinamaan pa rin. Wala pong pinipili ang sakit na ito, kaya napaka-importante ng kooperasyon ng bawat isa sa atin. Like the title of this measure, which is the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, dito natin makikita ang tatag at lakas ng Pilipino kapag nagkaisa at nagbayanihan tayo para sa ikabubuti ng ating bayan. We can overcome this and we can heal as one. Gaya nga lang sinabi ni Mang Rinaldo Alcala.
Talaga kami, pag hindi kami bumiyahe dahil wala kami pira, wala kami pambiling bigas. Mahirap eh. Mahirap pag mahirap. Walang pagkukunan. Ang kailangan, pagkain. At dahil
Sabi nga niya, mahirap maging mahirap, kaya huwag na natin sila mas pahirapan pa. Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, Senator Dick Gordon also wishes to deliver his co-sponsorship speech.
Senator Richard Gordon, and then Dr. Pacquiao.
With the